Welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to Scrapbook Saturday. It's the first one we've done, or I'm doing, should I say, and it's all about this week, the project 31365. So basically you take a photograph every day for 365 days and it just shows the normal run of your life and the things that you've got up to. It's great fun to look back on. It sometimes can be a little bit difficult to try and decide what you're going to take your photograph of, but something generally appears and you go, oh yes, I must take that one. So these are the first 7 I took beginning in January. So I'll show you those through in a minute. So the first one for me in January was my brand new diary that I got for Christmas. Let's lay these out just 2 seconds. I'm going to push that over there and that bit over there. And we can look at the photographs quickly. Now some of them I have got more than one for and they will become apparent. Okay, so January 1st was my diary. It snowed here in England on the 2nd of January, so my Christmas tree was still up. My Christmas decorations were still out, but you could see the snow. But I wanted to actually show you that it was snow, so there was 2 photographs for that. What else did we go? Okay, so I was doing a project or working. Got a bit of flu and I was working in my bed or on my couch with a quilt over me, and I was working out the stamp sets I was getting for the first quarter. So that was a bit of work there. Went to my daughter's and she made cookies. As I said, I was a bit poorly, so that's the proof I was poorly. Not that my foot was poorly, I had flu. And I have 2 animals that like to be nursemaids. So on that particular day, the nursemaid was our dog Bootsy, and the second day our nursemaid was our Millie. I was preparing for a sale, a mega sale, and I was piling up all the stamp sets on my desk, and as you can see they were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I thought, well, I better take a photograph of that just to show that I was actually doing a mega sale. So they are my 7 photographs, and as you can see there is not one particular theme, but what I did find was that there were blues and oranges in these pictures, and that's where I literally got my color coordination from for my colors for my papers. So I started, let's bring in our glue dots. My pick tool has done a disappearing act. I wonder where that's gone then. Okay, so let's choose a pair of scissors. That'll do. So I'm going to take the big. Now these are removable glue dots. So if you've not seen one of my scrapbook pages before, you'll see I use these removable dots. You can get them from Amazon. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up don't sell them as of yet. So let's bring those in. So that's a white base I'm using. And there, let's move this over. And then I'll do the same on here. Cover up the dots. The weather is particularly not nice here at the moment in the UK. Well, definitely where I'm living. And it is very dull and dark, and it doesn't matter how much lighting I seem to have on to brighten up the videos, they seem to be quite dark. So apologies if it's a bit dark for you. Okay, so the next thing I brought in was a sheet of 12 by 12 Timid Tiger. I felt that these 2 colours, or this colour, picked up quite nicely from the diary, which is going to be on the left-hand page, and also it picks up the orange in my blanket here on the right-hand page. So that's why I've gone for that. Now, literally, I decided I was going to have a bigger slice on the right and a smaller slice on the left. So this size is 12 by 8, and then I've got 12 by 4 for the left hand side. Right, okay. I'm going to use the stamp and seal. I'm just going to do a tiny bit at the top, tiny bit in the middle, tiny bit at the bottom. I have a rough idea how these are going to work in my mind, but you never know, things may change as we progress. Okay, so again, tiny bit in the corners. I prefer to use mainly stamp and seal and tear and tape so that it protects my photos. Then I have got 2 pages of blue. Now this is balmy blue, and what I wanted to do was make sure that these were going to map my photographs. So let's just have a quick look at photograph wise. So let's go that way. So I've got Millie there, Bootsy and my leg. Sounds a weird combination, doesn't it? My daughter's cooking, baking. I wonder if that was longer. Nope, it's the right size. Over here I have got what have I done with my diary? It's disappeared. Oh, it's over here, miles away. So my diary. It snowed. And I've got that there. And then I've got this one here. So let's just move it around this way a bit. See if that is better. Boots, Millie. See, I've changed that instantly anyway. So I've got 3 photographs there. And I will show you how I'm going to cope with that one. There. Over. And then I've got the 3 photographs here. So let's just double check that I've printed out myself some layers so I know what I'm doing. So I've got diary, snow, prep for the first quarter. That's going to go there. And then here I've got cookies from Orla, poorly mum nursing boots, and nurse Millie and stockpiling. So that's those ones to go there. Right. So they're definitely on the right pages. Let's go back to the other side. It's just it wasn't sitting right. So this is 8 inches by 10. Bring it all the way over there. Bring this one all the way down here. And then I've got the bootsy in there. And the... No, it doesn't sit. Never mind. I could have done with that being just a bit longer, but I think I can live with it. Right, so that's going to sit there. That's going to sit there. So I think the thing to do now is to mat the pictures onto, or to layer the pictures onto the mat. So let's do that with these bits. Because before I actually stick this down, there's a edging I want you to add to the top and the bottom. So 1, 2. I'm going to move that right over to the edge. It's a very thin line of matte, of balmy blue coming through. This one I will add later, but this one's going to... Now I know this one's upside down or it's sideways. No, I think it's that way. No, that way is the one. And you will have to move the page round to look at it. But it will be covered by a flip flap, so it won't drive my brain too bad. Okay, and I'll show you flip flaps in a moment. And then this one is going to go here. this piece of mat measured 8 inches by 10 1/4. So that's going to sit over to there. That will go onto there, which I'll show you the flip flap in a moment. In fact, let's do that now. So if you've not seen a flip flap, it's one of these. And what you can do is it puts the photograph into a protective seal. You put this inside the 12 by 12 protector, and then you stick this onto the outside. So people, when they're looking at it, they can lift it up. They'll still get to see the picture underneath, but they get to see the other picture as well. It means that you can show photographs. It would look like that, hypothetically. It means you can show photographs, more photographs on one page than up here necessary. Right, okay, so let's do these ones. Let's get my Millie on. So let's tuck that into there. Straight over. There she is. And I'm going to pop this one down the bottom left-hand corner. Get off. There we go. Excuse me. You can see I still haven't got rid of my cold. Let me take a quick sip. That's it. Tea can help. Right. Let's get my foot in. Bring that over as far as we possibly can. There we go. And then I can bring my daughter's cooking in there. Do you know what? I'm going to take off just 1/8 of an inch so that it fits. And because it's on the bottom, it won't, excuse me, it won't show too much, because obviously Bootsy will be over the top. There we go. So we've gone over to see my daughter, and she baked some cakes. They were gorgeous. Right, okay, so that is, let's get the flip flap for Bootsy. So the flip flaps come in 3 sizes. I've got a 6x4, a 3x3, and a 3x4. And this is a 3x4. Now, if I wanted to, I could do it like that. Excuse me. So that when they pick it up, they get to see both pictures underneath. We'll see how I feel when I do it into the protectors. Now, I have got some of this beautiful paper. Now, this paper is one of the papers that you can get if you spend £70 or more. It's £5, and it was January's special paper choice. And I got it, and I thought I'd really, really like it, but I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for. And then, hey presto, it appeared for me to do the thing I wanted to do. Right, so let's put those there for a second. I'm just going to pop these. So these are going to go in place. Each one of these is 12 inches by 1.5. No, sorry. Yes, 1.5 inches. Okay, and they are just going to lie like that. And it gives you that kind of bit in the middle where you can do all the exciting bit. So let's just add those. Sorry, I was concentrating that I was labeling it up there straight. There we go. It's one at the top, bottom, and let's do one at the top. Again, I'm just adding tiny bits of Stampin' Seal just to, oops, hello. And it's quite nice because I'm doing Project 365, I'm going to do them in numerical order. It means they can go in their forever home once I've completed the double page, which makes my life more organised. Definitely more organised. Right, okay, so the bottom goes in here. So that's 1.5 again by 12 inches. Whoops. Shame we don't have glue dots to hold the mats, isn't it, really? There we go. So one there, and one there. Now because I've got these sections in the middle, it makes it easier for me to place my mats. And I wanted to have equal gap from here to here on that one, but this one will overlap. But again, I wanted to make sure that the overlapping was the same at the bottom and at the top. So I can now adhere these. Again, just tiny pieces to hold everything into place. There we go. Did I leave any space under there? I did, and I'll find some in a minute. You'll see why in a second. It's generally why I try and put the glue that I'm using a little bit more central so that you can get things top and bottom. Look at that. Perfect. Lovely. There we go. Right, so that's those. So the things I've got for the decoration, let's bring those in. So for decoration, using the, I can't remember what they're called, so bear with me. I will dig them out. So these are party banner dies. I have used the 5th from the center to create little banners that will go, my thinking is one is to go there, and then one will go, look at that, there. I'm not going to stick it down just yet because I want to, I've got the information that I wanted to, stickers that I'm going to go there. I have got, let's get to that hair, obviously molting in. I have used the, I don't know if any of you have got this, documenting the day. It was a celebration stamp set from last year, which unfortunately is no longer available. So use whatever's in your supplies. But I thought documenting the day was perfect for what I was actually doing here. And then the day was going to go down here. Then I'd got, it looked a bit blank to me, so I wanted to add some focal images. So I'd chosen this green, so it could go over the top like that, but I think it's going to go, see, that was going to go there, but I lost the color. I felt I lost the color, so it could go there. I think what I'm going to do is cut this in half because I have glued it. Let's just cut that in half. There we go. Then that can go like that and pick up that there. Okay, then I've got another of these flowers. Now these flowers are from the Gallery Blooms. You've got 5 actual foliage images, but they're really quite bold, and well, these two are very bold, and I thought worked really, really well for what I was doing, because I didn't want to just leave it without having anything extra to it. I needed it to have a little bit more vim. So I thought that one could go there. Now I could add that there. And then you've got the 2 corners. I think that works. And then that will go underneath. This one is to go here and that will go maybe over the top. And then I've got this little piece. So this was 1 1/4 by 4 inches, and then that makes that 1 3/8 by 4 1/4. So that could go there. I'm just not sure what I'm thinking, because I wanted it to, I'm just wondering if there is, because there's more photographs on this side than there is on this side, I didn't want to add too much foliage to this side. So I'm now wondering if I should take that and add it to there. Oops, no, add it to there. So it sweeps the eye round. I'm thinking that works better. So let's do that. Okay, so let's add our tiny bit of there. That will go in. So this was a 2 3/8 inch circle punched out. My flower will go there. We'll add the top so it doesn't actually get glued onto the picture. There we go. I'm going to attach that to the other half of the circle, and it cuts off the edges, and then that can then go, come on, some of it to show, don't we? There, that's better. And then that will go on there like that. Right, let's do that onto there. There we go. Right. Let's peel this off. This is really good. This is just like a label printer I've got. And it just prints off nicely. Because I don't always want to see my handwriting. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Again, I'm just going to add, oops, I'm just going to throw the seal. Tiny bit of seal across there. And then it can go up under the photo and come down. I don't want it to be too much. There we go. So that's that one in place. And then we've got to just do this one. So let's do this one again. Take this out. Peel off the, I'm going to add it to the bottom of the banner. She says, I'm going to try and do it straight. Always a good look to do it straight, don't you think? There we go. Right. And again, I shall add this stamp and seal at the top. And that will go there. My maybe I'll do it that way. Oh, now, see now. But I wanted to bring the green down to here. Do I like it though? No, I don't. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into my box. I have another piece of the Granny Apple Green. I've got the punch. I'm going to punch that hole out. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut this again in half. And so that the green carries down, I'm going to add it to that side there. And then my flower can go there. And my word day can just sit on the bottom here. So you've got like a little cluster. Oh, I haven't stuck that down. Let's stick that down. That's a good idea, isn't it? So just again, kind of little dabs. will just give it a lift at the top. There we go. And then let's add that to there. There we go. Nope, don't like that. Whoops. That's better. There we go. That's better. We need to take off the half circle, add a bit of stamping seal to that. And then just do the same as I did with the debts documenting. And then just add that to there underneath. And there we are. Our first one is complete. So I will be back next Saturday with another double page spread. So I hope you like this one. There will be a QR code at the end of this video for any of the supplies that you've seen here that you would like. So do click on that if you need to. And I will see you next week for another Scrapbooking Saturday. Take care. Bye.